today I want to give you 3 signs on how to tell that you are being rebranded through your breakthrough season. So I need you to tap in, collective. All right, before I get started, hey. Hello. Welcome. My name is Cass Young, comma Crown. I'm an intuitive prophetic speaker, and I am here to pour love and life into you so that you recognize your power and walk in your divine purpose. Now, listen, collective. I just been kind of seeing what's going on with you guys as of late. Let me adjust this real quick. Let's see. All right, there we go. I've been seeing what's going on with you guys as of late, and I have a few thoughts about it. And as I was going through these thoughts, I recognized that this is actually bigger than what I originally put my mind to, and I wanted to share it with you. And I hope that you can tap into some of the messages that I'm providing. And if not, what I would love for you to do, if this does not resonate, I want you to share this video into a playlist. Share and save this video into a playlist, yes, and a prayer list. Tap in, okay, for messages for your future self, okay? Because sometimes the conversation does not resonate with you depending on where you are in your journey, but one day it will. And I would love for you to come back to this message. Now, collective. It took me a while to jump on here because, girl, I was watching this video. Hold on, y'all. I got to tell you about this video. We got to do a little bit of housekeeping before I get into the message, okay? I was watching this video by a channel called More Perfect Union. And the title of the video, hold on, I'm gonna just show you. Okay, the title of the video is "He Lost His Mind Using ChatGPT, Then It Told Him to Contact Me." So the reason why I wanted to point this out before we get started is because I want you guys to understand that when I talk about ChatGPT or AI in general, it's not to downplay a tool that could absolutely be useful in your life. It's to warn you that we are dealing with a society that is looking for validation and a deeper understanding to themselves more than you may be doing at that time, collective. So I need you to tap in and just be aware that you have young kids and adults relying on a computer to guide them throughout this world where you are relying on your intuition to guide you. Tap in, tap all the way in, collective. Now, let's talk about this breakthrough, this rebranding during your breakthrough era. Hi, Travis. I see you. I love you. Thank you for being here. There are 3 signs that I'm seeing with the collective, and I want to talk about it. So if it's okay if I talk about it, then look, tap in, tune in, and know that you are amongst a loving community. You are amongst people who care about your journey, and we're going to really dive and dip into it. Okay. So what I'm seeing with the collective really is that the first sign is that your observer self is watching you speak up for yourself. Okay. And I know that might sound like, girl, what are you talking about? It's kind of matrixy, but it's not when you break it down. So your observer self, collective, is the version of you that's like overlooking your entire life. Like you can see all the plays, what's in your mind's eye, right? You can see all the plays, all the people, all the players. You know what's going on here, there, and everywhere, right? And sometimes, collective, you sit in silence. Collective, tap in. Sometimes you sit in silence. Sometimes you actually don't say anything, and stuff starts building up inside of you until you actually like go ham on people. Okay, I know this for a fact, collective, because girl, I listen to your stories. Okay, so when I'm saying like your observer self is deciding to speak up for yourself in the natural, in the real world, that is a sign that you are being rebranded because you are no longer sitting in silence. And for a lot of you, this is like your first time speaking up for yourself. For a lot of you, this is the first time that not only are you speaking up for yourself, but you're standing 10 toes down for yourself, collective. And my God, I love that for you. I'm going to always say team you all day. I'm so team you. I got it tatted on my finger. So when I'm telling you what it is, know that it's out of love, right? And it's really interesting that we come to this point of our lives, collective, that we are uncomfortable with sitting in silence. So this can be with anything. This could be something where you are no longer comfortable for what you used to accept. This could be, this is not a political channel. Thank you. This could be something where you're not willing to accept what you used to accept. This could be something where is something not sitting right in your soul and you're deciding to speak up about it. It could be a number of things. But when your observer self is watching you step into the role of a divine protector for your boundaries, for your emotions, for your mental health, collective, that's what I'm talking about. Okay, that is a telltale sign that this season, this breakthrough season, is one. Look, we got the Lovers, absolutely, with the Three of Pentacles. And that's what I'm saying. When your observer self knows that there is more to life than just allowing people not to just walk over you, but to believe that they could behave in a certain way around you. Let's talk about it, collective. Let's talk about the fact, collective. My God, yes, this message coming through. Let's talk about how you keep people in line on how to treat you, on how to show up in your space by speaking up for yourself, by speaking up on what you will or will not tolerate, collective. Well, that's a big deal. That's a big deal. Because see, people will act a natural behind in your whole life. Tap in, they will act a natural behind in front of you, but won't act that same natural behind in front of their parents. Why? Because their parents established some boundaries where disrespect will not be tolerated, or they won't act that way in front of certain people. Why? Because those certain people have placed boundaries on what is or is not accepted. They won't act that way in the restaurant. They won't act that way. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? So when I see the Lovers with the Three of Pentacles, it is telling me that you have really enacted a philosophy in your life that is allowing you to stand 10 toes down in your boundaries, and you are whipping people into place on how to behave around you. Because let me tell you something, when somebody act a plumb fool in front of you, and them boys in blue, no matter who it is, the boys in blue with the law, the boys in blue with the legal, with the lawyers, them boys in blue, anywhere, spiritually, ethically, morally, when they show up to lay down the law, that you won't be a part of that. You won't catch the heat just because you around somebody who don't respect who you are. You did what I'm saying? So this is the opportune time for you to observe everything that's happening in your world and laying down the law. And that is laying down your law, your spiritual doctrine, your spiritual boundaries, and what you will and will not accept in your life. And I'm telling you, when you do this, you are committing yourself. You are committing to yourself. You are committing to God, that you understand the assignment. And looking at the Lovers and the Three of Pentacles, it lets me know that where you are going, where you are walking is absolutely in divine alignment. It is in the plan for you to draw these boundaries. And you know what, y'all? A lot of y'all have difficulty or find it difficult to draw these type of boundaries, because when you do, oh my gosh, tap in, collective, when you do draw these boundaries, you actually are you drawing them with people who've been in your circle for a very long time. Tap in. That's right. When you start drawing these boundaries, it keeps coming up. You're gonna upset people. And most times when we think about upsetting people, we thinking about, oh, you know, people just out in the world, out and about, they're gonna be upset. No, I'm talking about people that's close to you, baby. I'm talking about people that you love, collective. And I will never sit up here and pretend that your emotions and your feelings towards people does not what's the word I'm looking for, y'all? It does not dictate how you go about dealing with people. We need to stop pretending that. It almost seems like people people design detachment, or they present detachment as something that just happens for the collective overnight, where the collective detaches over time. It is an entire grieving process. So when the collective finally says, no, what Echo say, not anymore, not this time, I'm putting down my foot. Now when it's time to do that, like, the process, the energy that went behind that was not overnight. And I always want to honor the spaces that you've been in that led you up to a point where you have to say no to people, where you are drawing your boundaries, when you are loving yourself more, when you are not going to be responsible for somebody else's behavior in your presence. Tap in. Because they don't want to be responsible for their behaviors. Ooh. That's good tea. I hooked it up this time. No, them people don't want to be responsible for their own behaviors, but they want you to be responsible for their behaviors. So again, the first way that you know you are being rebranded in your breakthrough season is that your observer self is watching you lay down the law for your natural self. What's happening inside of this world, inside this planet, on the 3D and the everyday. Tap in, and I love that for you, collective. The second way you know that you being rebranded, not just in 2025, baby, but just in the eyes of God and in your life. The second way to know is that, collective, I'm gonna say it. And this might be hard for a lot of you, especially if you're going through it right now, especially if you are having a difficult time handling life right now. Collective, I'm going to say it. Okay. Ooh, girl. Thank you, Travis. Because I was actually about to go into answering that question. And baby, she was not going to like that answer. But at the end of the day, the second thing is that you can handle what's happening. And I know the reason why I felt like I needed to take a deep breath before I said that is because I know that a lot of people in my collective right now, those who are new and those that have been OGs, a lot of y'all going through some serious stuff right now. I get it. I know you are. I know you are. A lot of y'all are handling heaviness at a level that you've never dealt with before. A lot of you are dealing with spiritual warfare that's right at your front door. And I get it. And I know this for sure. But what I'm telling you is that in your previous versions of yourself, you were not equipped to deal with this level of treachery. Think about all the awakenings you've gone through from the previous versions of yourself to yourself right now, and what that looks like for you, collective. There may be a lot on your plate. There may be a lot happening right now, but what's happening would not be happening, tap in, if God did not think you could handle it. And you know, I've seen people say this before, like especially when I'm watching pastors and they're giving a sermon about what God is putting on your shoulders, what God is putting on your plate, what God is putting in your life. And I see people in the chat saying like, girl, I don't want to handle this no more. Why I got to be the strongest soldier? Girl, because the mission is still at play here. The reason why is because I keep telling you, collective is bigger than you. Where we are going in this world is bigger than you. It's not just about what you got going on. It is about putting all of the soldiers, all of God's soldiers, all of the prayer warriors, all of the healers in alignment so that when the true overall mission comes into play, you know exactly the design that you have to roll into. Woo-wee. Tap in, collective. I'm not even playing. And I don't want you to miss that. I don't want you to miss that. Because when we talk about what God puts on our plates to handle, we often become selfish, and we can't help it. We can't help it because it's happening to us, right? So we know that this is like a big deal. We know this is a big time happening that's going on. Oh, the 4 of Cups with the 9 of Swords. Oh my gosh, yes. So we know that heaviness is at hand. We know what's going on. We know what's actually happening, collective. And this is so major. This is so major. Because I'm seeing the 4 of Cups lets me know that it does deplete you. It does feel like it's a lot. It does feel like you don't know which way to go. But collective, that is simply not the case. I need you to understand that this is so much bigger than you. I need you to understand. I'm seeing 111 on my screen. My gosh. Talk about a reset. Talk about a beautiful, beautiful reset. My goodness, what's happening up in here? Woo-wee, thank you. Thank you. The 9 of Swords lets me know that there is a aching. There is a lot going on. There is a lot happening, and it hurts. I'm telling you, collective, I feel like there's just a pain in your soul where you feel like you want to do more, but you can't do more, that you need to do more, but you don't have the time. But the 4 of Cups is inviting you to actually sit down and recognize what it is you do have space for. And I love this for you, collective, because when we talk about what you can handle and what you can't handle, when God is putting things in front of you to deal with, it is like pre-game training. It's pre-game training for you. And I'm absolutely astounded by the fact that so many people don't recognize this next level intel. And that so many people are going through this awakening or going through difficult times at the same time they are. I want you to look at what you are being trained for. Because not everybody has the wherewithal. Not everybody understands how to connect deeper. Not everybody knows how to find alignment for themselves, collective. I'm telling you, it's next level. It's next level. And then the third way that you know that you are being rebranded in your breakthrough era, collective, is that you are addressing your anger. Now listen, look, Ace of Pentacles. Yeah, you're being grounded. You understand. Look, with the being grounded, understanding, we got the devil showing up. Now let me tell you something, collective, as I channel this message, because I'm gonna have to channel this for a bit, okay? Anger is a buffer. Anger is a buffer between the situation at hand and how we truly feel. Anger is the easiest to show, right? Anger is the easiest to express. But a lot of people don't know how to express depression, aching hearts, grief, sadness, frustration. A lot of people miss how to express those, even in saying, even in the words, even in communication. People do not know how to express themselves beyond anger. So when you are being rebranded in your breakthrough season, one of the ways, the third way that you will know is the fact that you are able to address your anger and truly place on it what it truly is. What it really is. And anger is a barrier, not just to your breakthrough, but anger is a barrier to your blessings. Tap in. So many people walking around with anger on their shoulders. So many people walking around with anger on their souls. So many people walking around with anger in their life. So you can see the chip on their shoulder. You can see people who straight up mad at everything for every reason because they don't want to address the underlying boiling parts, which is actually the simple fact that they are hurt. That they are sad, They are saddened that life doesn't feel good at the moment, that things are hard. They're finding difficulty adjusting. It is easier to show anger than it is to deal with the underlying issue at hand. So when I see the collective saying to themselves, okay, girl, let me deal with this anger, because I'm finding myself getting angry all the time. Why? When I see the collective addressing the why and learning to heal through the why, so that they don't present as angry, not just to the world, but to themselves. They don't want to harbor that. That's how I know the rebrand is happening. That's how I know you're becoming a better person. That's how I know that you are thorough in your healing. 313 is what I see on my screen. Oh my gosh, I really love this, because that anger sitting on you is what is truly one of the devil. It really is. My goodness. Collective, this is really big. And I want you to understand just how precious these 3 steps are. So the first step is that you're speaking up for yourself. And where you used to be quiet, where you used to let ish go, where you used to be passive, you are now being blunt. You are now being forward. You are now being open. You are now speaking up for what you will and will not accept in your presence. People better get right or get left. And I love if that's where you are, collective. That's not an easy space to be, especially if you've had a hard time in the past speaking up for yourself. The second way is that you can handle the heaviness that is coming at you. I wanted to say both. You can handle what's coming after you and what's coming at you, collective. You are not too weak for this. You are not weak sauce. And don't let nobody tell you different. Don't let nobody make you believe that you can't handle it. And as I said before, when I see people in chats under videos where pastors and other spiritual leaders are talking about people going through heavy, difficult times, in the chat, in the comment section, I'll see people say, I don't want to fight this anymore. Why God got to give me his hardest battles? Again, it's because the alignment is for something bigger than you. It is something holier than you and I. And I will keep preaching that from the mountaintops. That yes, deal with what you got to deal with, but also understand that the purpose is always going to be grander than you, collective. And then the third way that you will know is that you are addressing your anger. Some of you are facing your anger head on and recognizing that this is just ain't the place. And I love this for you, collective. Whew. I told you I won't be long, but I surely will be strong. And that was sitting on my heart for the collective. It's been sitting on my heart for a couple of days now, because when I recognize that the collective is in a season of breakthroughs, a season of blessings, a season of birthrights, it makes me I don't even know the word. It just makes me hyper aware of what's going on. It makes me hyper aware of who's taking the battles, who's taking the hits, who's healing, who's praying. It makes me hyper aware of what the need is for the collective. Hi, Mona. It just makes me want to tap in even more, because I'm recognizing that the change is taking place right in front of my face. And that's the frequency that I vibe on. Not everybody sees this. Not everybody feels this. Some of you may be feeling more of a healing than anything. Some of you may be seeing the battle more than anything, because your frequency is vibing different than mine. But what I will do for the collective is bring it to the forefront. And the forefront message is that, collective, baby, when I see these 3 steps activating in conjunction with one another, that's how I know that the rebrand is happening. Ooh, collective. I told you I won't be long, but I surely will be strong. I thank you so much. I hope that you received this message. And if this message did not resonate with you, here's what I ask of you, collective. Please create a playlist within YouTube that says messages for my future self and add this message in there. And I want you to go back to these 3 steps and tell yourself, I made it through these 3 steps, baby. I did this for myself. Oh my gosh, collective. That's absolutely beautiful. I love it. Collective, if you love this message, don't forget to share this video, share it on Pinterest, share it on Facebook, share it on YouTube, share it in your email. That's the biggest thing you can do for this channel is love on this channel. You can also like and subscribe if you choose to, collective. Again, I did not want to be long, but I did want to be strong in my message, and I hope that it resonates with you. I love you guys so much. I will see you in the crown circle. I will see you tomorrow, as a matter of fact, for our crown chambers. And I want you to stay positive. I want you to stay loving and always walk with your crown on. Bye, collective.